Okay, everybody, this is Dr. Kemi Olunloyo, a retired journalist. If you want to follow my Trump blog, you need to go to Instagram, same handle, Dr. Kemi of Nigeria. Now, what I want to do now is to explain this post. It's on Instablog Nigeria and other places around the world, but I want to explain it to Nigerians very well because a lot of you don't know what's going on, and only journalists can really truly put this out the way it should be. And international journalists like me, I worked internationally, should be speaking more now, especially the active ones. There are things you need to gauge and look at around the world that's happening. Even President Donald Trump said he was not aware of this stuff. That's the U.S. president. And this is why journalists have to brief the president all the time. Now, earlier this year, President Trump bashed all the mainstream media, called them fake news and whatnot. And he invited several independent journalists to the White House. Imagine, if I was still a journalist, I would have gone to the White House on that too. But listen, guys, this is what I want to explain to you. First, I'm going to read this out and explain what is going on. President Trump wrote a very happy Thanksgiving salutation to all of our great American citizens and patriots who have been so nice in allowing a country to be divided, disrupted, carved up, murdered, beaten, mugged, and laughed at, along with certain other foolish countries throughout the world, for being politically correct and just plain stupid when it comes to immigration. This part is very funny. This is why some of you in Nigeria call me the female Donald Trump, right? Isn't that what you guys called me in 2016? Okay, I have that mentality that DJT has. And many people don't see that mentality because they want to be politically correct. The official United States foreign population stands at 5.3 million. This font is so tiny. Stands at 53 million people. That's the census. Most of which are on welfare from failed nations or from prisons, mental institution, gangs, or drug cartels. Their children are supported through massive payments from Patriotic American Citizens who, because of their beautiful hearts, do not want to openly complain or cause trouble in any way, shape, or form. They put up with what has happened to our country, but it's eating them alive to do so. A migrant earning $30,000 with a green card will get roughly $50,000 in yearly benefits for their family. The real migrant population is much higher. This refugee burden is the leading cause of social dysfunction in America, something that did not exist after World War II. Failed schools, high crime, urban decay, overcrowded hospitals, housing shortages, and large deficits. As an example, hundreds of thousands of refugees from Somalia are completely taking over the once great state of Minnesota. Somalian gangs are roving the streets looking for prey as our wonderful people stay locked in their apartments and houses, hoping against hope that they will be left alone. The seriously retarded governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, does nothing either through fear, incompetence, or both. While the worst congressman woman in our country, Ilhan Omar, always wrapped in her swaddling hijab, and who probably came to the U.S.A. illegally, in that you are not allowed to marry your brother, does nothing but hateful complain about our country, its constitution, and how badly she is treated when her place of origin is a decadent, backward, and crime-ridden nation, which is essentially not even a country for lack of government, military, police, schools, etc. Let's stop there. Now, this is a mouthful that President Trump has said, and I want to explain it like this. Guys, what Trump said there is absolutely correct, 100% correct. No, I'm not sucking up to the president. This is our president, okay? If Trump is your first president or your only president or your second president, whether you're naturalized, you're born in America, he's the president right now. For years, what has been going on in Minnesota has been going on in Canada as well. And in Canada is the province of Alberta, Calgary. These are, by the way, President Trump, it's Somali if you're going to use it towards, referring to people, not Somalian community, Somali community, Somali people. We only use Somalia for their country, but they call it Somali. Okay, so the Somali communities in Calgary, Alberta, and even parts of Vancouver in Canada, Minnesota in the U.S.A., these places, these cities, states and provinces are a hub for Somali people. During the initial migration, the refugee time when the wars were there, eventually the governments vanished. This was a country without a government. Remember what I say about a country without media and a media without a government. Okay, this was a country without a government, without a media, and it was just lawless. Many people fled, and a lot of Somali people went to North America. They went to other parts of the world too, but North America was mainly the state of Minnesota and the province of Alberta and Calgary. If you're listening and you live in Canada and you agree with what I'm saying, let me know, because I fought gun violence in Toronto, Canada, and I know the Somali neighborhoods in Toronto were very problematic, okay? Etobicoke is one of them. And Etobicoke was the area that Doug Ford used to represent before he became the premier. Okay, I'm talking real stuff here. The Somali boys in Etobicoke will come to Jane and Finch to kill people over there from gang memberships. Okay, that's been a problem. If they're not doing that, they're going to work in Alberta. Mom, I'm going to get a job. I got a new job. I'm going to Calgary. I'm going to Alberta. They're not going to work. They're going to the drug trade. So what we were finding out is when I was in Toronto, 2007 to 2012, we had a very high, please Google this in the Toronto Star. Okay, just go to Toronto Star and Google drug trade Somali gang members. You'll see the stories. We lost a lot of young men. Somali young men who got tired of all the gang membership and they went to do the drug trade, and they'll tell their mom they're going to work. One after the other, they'll say we're going to work in Calgary, and it's their bodies that they bring back. Toronto police will call their parents and say, your child's body was returned from Alberta. He was gunned down in the drug trade. It was over, and it's the same thing. They'll keep going there, getting killed, coming back. Okay? So that problem has been always there. President Trump might just be learning about it. It's the same thing going on in Minnesota. However, we're talking about Toronto to Calgary now, two provinces, traveling. In Minnesota, it's just in that state. They don't move around anywhere. Some immigrants go to where fellow immigrants are living. That's very common. The Ghanaians go to Jane and Finch each time they move to Toronto. And what happened is gangs formed over there, and innocent Ghanaians were killed at the bus stop. You remember the guy that was killed last year? So, the Somali community in Minnesota is huge. And when it's huge like that, states and governors and, mayors, they become, they start to recognize them because some of them are contributing well to the community and some are not. And this is why Trump is after Tim Walz on this stuff. It's getting worse. This is a new generation now. Now, I lived 25 to 30 years all over the U.S., but in that particular area, I didn't live in Minnesota, but as a journalist, I know that particular area has always had that problem, okay? Because now they're having kids, and the kids are becoming gang members. It's the same, it's a revolving circle. I wish I could brief the president. I'll try my best. Now, continuing on President Trump's speech, even as we progress technological, immigration policy has eroded those gains and living conditions for many. I will permanently pause migration from all third world countries to allow the U.S. system to fully recover. Terminate all the millions of Biden illegal admissions, including those signed by Sleepy Joe's Autopen, and remove anyone who is not an asset to the United States. Denature immigrants who undermine domestic tranquility, and deport any foreign national who is a public charge, security risk, or non-compatible with Western civilization. These goals, okay, I'm almost running out of time here. Only reverse migration can fuel, that can fully cure the situation other than the happy Thanksgiving. Okay. Ilhan Omar is from Somalia. She moved to Minnesota. She became the lawmaker in Washington. She's fought Trump forever. We'll talk.